Hello, today is Thursday, August 13th, 2015, and this will be my weeks 14, 15, and 16 update in my twin pregnancy. One of the best things about the last 3 weeks is that the nausea has finally left the building. Foods are appealing to me so much more. I can think more of what I want to eat, and I enjoy the foods that I eat so much more. Also, I'm no longer having that aversion to water, which was awful. So I'm able to drink water now. I like it iced, so I'm preferring cold water, whereas before I was pregnant, I wouldn't mind drinking, like room temperature Brita filtered water if I was really thirsty. So I have had some cravings. I'm trying to remember where it began. I would say maybe it began with popsicles. Around the beginning of my second trimester, I was really craving popsicles, and so I would probably have one of those every night, and that was just really satisfying. I also was craving, and am still craving, Starbucks sausage, egg, and cheese breakfast sandwich. So I've probably eaten one of those every morning for like the last 2 weeks. Yeah. I buy that, and I buy their cold pressed orange juice, and it is super satisfying to drink that. I drink the orange juice over ice, and it's so refreshing, it's so delicious, and the sandwich it's very filling, and I think it gives me a good punch of protein, which takes me through like half the day, and I'm really enjoying that. In terms of weight gain, I have been taking my weight, trying to take it once every week, and I think that from the start of my pregnancy to now, I've probably gained between 5 and 6 pounds. And I'm very comfortable with that. I was not at my ideal weight pre-pregnancy because I went through IVF, and the medications caused a lot of bloating, water retention, and weight gain. But I feel good. I feel like I'm gaining an appropriate amount of weight, and I'm not too uncomfortable in my skin, so to speak. And I've definitely popped, most definitely. I mean, I've been showing more or less from day one because of the mega bloat that I had from the medications and egg retrieval recovery and all of that. So it's just morphed into a prego belly, and it's really noticeable, really noticeable. There's no way, you cannot tell that I'm pregnant. So I've been dealing with the sudden attention that brings. So, I do a lot of walking to and from work, downtown Chicago. Lots of passersby, and lots of people are drawn to the bump. I've had a few people talk to me randomly, like in line at Starbucks, because they notice the bump and they start to talk to me about pregnancy. No one has attempted to actually lay hands on the bump, and I'm very thankful for that, because I really don't feel comfortable with complete strangers putting their hands on me. I'm not even sure how I'll react when my family or friends try to do it. But yeah, that's something that I've been dealing with. And it's definitely taking some getting used to, because I look down and, I see it, but it doesn't look as prominent as it may look from when you're looking at me, or definitely from the side. I'll catch my profile in the bathroom mirror, and I am just floored at how pregnant I look. My husband is also very impressed by my size. Let's see, symptoms and whatnot. I said the nausea has subsided, thank goodness, and now I'm dealing more with the aches and pains of growing and expanding. So the pelvic girdle pain is back with a vengeance. That's the nerve pain that I feel in my buttocks. And I'm also dealing with round ligament pain. I noticed it when I was walking my usual commute. I try to walk, fairly quickly and get some exercise that way. And I started to notice that my belly would tighten up and I would start to feel cramps in my very low abdomen, almost akin to when you get a cramp when you eat or drink and then exercise too soon afterwards and you get that horrible, painful cramp. Pardon me. But I feel it like all along the band of my abdomen. Sometimes it's more prominent on the left, sometimes more prominent on the right, but I have been dealing with that. So I try to slow my pace down. But honestly, I think that it is one of two things, round ligament pain and stretching, and a slower digestive system. So the combination has definitely caused me some discomfort. Nothing I can't deal with, but it's definitely there, and it's there every day. Getting up from a seated position, getting out of bed, I just feel the tendons are tender, a little bit of nerve pain in my backside. My lower back sometimes feels a bit sore, so lots of that kind of aches and pains that go along with a growing uterus and growing babies. I have not felt any movement that I can detect as the babies yet, and I was told by my doctor that that's perfectly normal. It usually doesn't start until anywhere from weeks 18 through 20. Sometimes it doesn't start until after week 20. So I'm kind of hanging in there, not worrying about it. I did have a prenatal appointment yesterday, and it was a pretty much basic appointment where they just ask how you're doing and all of that. Took my weight, blood pressure, the drill. And I'd had some blood work prior to coming in, and they took my thyroid levels again. And fortunately, I am in the normal range. So the medication is working, the increased dose is working, and I'm very, very thankful for that. I also did blood work after the appointment for part of this, what they call sequential genetics testing. So I had one blood draw like a month ago, and then I have this second blood draw, and the results are then compiled, and they'll tell you whether you're at risk, and if at risk, how much risk of having any genetic disorders with the babies. At the end of the appointment, another doctor came in, and she wheeled in a Doppler and ultrasound wand, and they went ahead and did a very, very quick scan of my belly, and were able to see the babies instantly. And now I haven't seen them, and Adam was there, and Adam and I have not seen the babies since week 11, and it's week 17 now. So you can imagine how much they have grown. And I notice that they're quite close together now, whereas before they had lots of room because they're so teeny tiny. And now they're right up against one another in their separate amniotic sacs. And they must be aware of one another. I mean, how could they not be? Which I think is just so cool. And yeah, she didn't really do much of any in-depth scans because she just wanted to see their heartbeats. And she said she found both heartbeats instantly. I saw the little flicker, and they're both very strong and healthy. She said they're moving around a lot, very active, everything looks great in there. I asked where my placentas lie because I hadn't been told, and I was wondering if that was maybe the reason why I hadn't felt any movement. So she took a look, and she said both of them are posterior, which means at the back wall of the uterus. So that's good. That won't get in the way of feeling movement when it does happen. And then as she was rolling the wand across my belly, of course she's scanning the babies, and they're moving around in there, and so different parts of their bodies are exposed, the top of their head, their big brains, that kind of thing. And sure enough, a few of the times that she scanned over, I caught a glimpse between their legs. Adam and I were just like glued to the screen, as I'm sure you can understand. We are so curious to know what the sexes are. So we asked her if she could detect the sexes, and she said, she seemed like, oh, startled by that. She's like, oh, I really shouldn't. It's going to be hard to tell for sure. She was on this like really small little laptop screen rather than the usual ultrasound screen, and I think also she probably doesn't have the authority to do that because we're going to have an official anatomy scan in 2 weeks. So yeah, she doesn't want to take the risk of making any false judgments. But Adam swore that she kind of had a Freudian slip at one time, because I asked her if she knew which was baby A and which was baby B, and her not being my usual doctor, she's like, oh, I don't really have that information, and let's see, I don't really know B for boy, B and A. And so Adam claims that he heard her spit out the word boy for one of the fetuses, and now he feels like there is a possibility that one of the babies is a boy. And of course, we don't know. It could have just been a slip of the tongue, a total mistake. She was speaking so fast. It was hard to even catch anything she said, but that happened. And it was such a tease. I cannot tell you how, I don't know, curious we became after that, And then, of course, she stops the ultrasound and everything's gone, and we have no idea what's going on in there, and we have to wait 2 weeks to find out for sure. Our appointment is Friday, August 28th, and we cannot wait. We're definitely going to find out right then and there. We're not going to do anything, complex, like keeping it a secret from ourselves and having family reveal it to us in a party or anything. We just need to know. We're just bursting. I feel really good. I'm still dealing with a lot of insomnia, so sleep has been touch and go. But I've been going to bed very early. This whole pregnancy, I have been turning in by 8 p.m. I, head to bed, I get ready and everything, and I just wind down. So I am getting a lot of rest, if not solid sleep. Been having a lot of really vivid dreams every night, pretty much. Some of them more memorable than others. And definitely dealing with some irritability. I haven't had many outbursts per se. It's just more of kind of feeling irritable. And those who've gotten the brunt of it are incompetent customer service people. I've had to deal with so much of that lately. Who knows why? It's like when it rains, it pours with that crap. And I tell you, I have let loose on some of these poor people. Zero tolerance, zero patience. Whereas before, I could really keep my cool and control myself. But that has not been possible. So I've been trying to be very mindful of that and try to make these phone calls when I'm at my most calm and collected. That wraps it up. I'm sure there are things that I'm missing. Oh, we bought a crib. We went to IKEA and we bought a crib. We will have to go back and purchase a second one. We plan on attaching the crib with these I don't know what you call them, almost like tethers that go across under the mattress and wrap through. If you kind of think it's kind of like a bungee system, but for the crib, so that it's right up against flush with the mattress. And we bought a crib that converts into a toddler bed, so one of the sides comes completely off, and so that will be the side pushed up against the bed, so that I have them in arm's reach and can easily nurse in the night and whatnot. So we will be putting, both babies in the same crib when they're tiny, and then as they get bigger, we'll set up the second crib. So that was so much fun, just so exciting. All these little purchases and things that you do are just such milestones in pregnancy, and it makes it that much more real and exciting. that, there really are babies coming into our lives very, very soon. I realized that I had never told you about the estimated due date I was given after my positive pregnancy test and viability scan. So the official due date is January 19th, 2016. And that, of course, is full term 40 weeks. But we all know that twins come well before that. So Adam and I are predicting that the twins will be born sometime in December. And everybody jokes and says, that's great if you can get them in before the new year, because then you can write them off on your taxes. So people are so pragmatic. But it's true. It's true. That would be a bonus. But yeah, we will see as things progress how that goes. I signed Adam and I up for a labor and delivery tour. I've been taking some free webinars that are offered through my company, actually, who works with a lactation consultant, and she offers webinars, so I take them at home in the evening. Adam has been joining me on those. The first two are the essentials of breastfeeding, which have been very informative. Next Wednesday night, I'll be taking one on breastfeeding multiples, so that's going to be really, really good stuff. And we're going to be signing up for an infant CPR class at the hospital in September. So trying to, really educate ourselves as much as we can and prepare mentally as best we can for the babies. Lots more I'm sure to share, but I'm going to keep it as short as I can here. And I just want to thank you all for tuning in as usual, for following me along on this wonderful, amazing, crazy journey, and I will talk to you all soon. Best wishes, Baby Dust. Bye!